Hi, today we're going to look at how we can use our graphing calculator to help us both evaluate functions and graph functions, or evaluate expressions, and graph functions. I'm going to move pretty fast, so please feel free to pause this if you need to. One thing you'll notice on the graphing calculator, every time I hit a key, it turns red, so you can follow exactly which keys I'm hitting. Okay, on 1 through 8, we are just evaluating some expressions. So number 1, 2 to the 5th, you're just going to type 2. To get an exponent, you hit your caret key, and you type a 5. Hit enter, and you see that is equal to, let's get some color here, it is equal to 32. Okay, let's look at our next one. Let's make sure this stays here. Okay, so a square root, I'm going to do a second x squared. Type in my 7, and that is 2.6. Now a cube root, the cube root is in your math function right here, and you notice it's option 4. So the cube root of 12 is 2.3. On the newer calculators, any of you that have this color version, you can also have a cube root loaded up here in your F2. You would first type your 3, your root, and do an alpha F2. It would be option 6. You can do any root with this option. And your cube root of 12, and you will get the exact same answer. Okay, 16 to the 3/4 will be 16. Caret 3, you can just do 3 divided by 4. You could put a fraction in there, but you don't need to. And that is 8. Now this is really important. For those of you with an older calculator where your powers don't bounce up and sit high, you would have to use parentheses around your power. It would look like this. 16 caret, open parenthesis, 3 divided by 4. Okay. Now 5 and 6, really just emphasize paying attention to negatives and whether or not they are part of your base. So of course this first one is 25. And the next one, when you just type in a negative 5 squared, only the 5 is being squared, not the negative. And that would be a negative 25. Okay, these last two, really, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to work with fractions, especially on the new calculator. All your fractions are loaded in F1, so that is green, so of course you hit alpha first, alpha F1. So to do number 7, you're just going to use option 1, so that is 1/2, and then bounce it to the right to get out of the fraction, plus, go to alpha F1 again, or alpha y equals, and hit your fraction key again, and it will be 7/8. Hit enter, and that is 11/8. If you need that as a mixed number, very easy. Just go back into alpha y equals into your F1 menu. Notice option 3 is a conversion from fraction to mixed number. Select 3. Remember to get here too, I can arrow down to 3 and hit enter, or just type 3. And when I hit enter, I see it is 1 3/8. Now, if you have an older calculator, not a problem at all. Let's go ahead and put our fractions in parentheses. We're just going to use a division sign, 1/2 plus 7/8. When you hit enter, you get your answer as a decimal. To make it a fraction, you just go into your math key. Your first option says 2 frac. Hit that, and it will convert it to a fraction. Okay, number 8 is a mixed number. So I would do alpha y equals, and I would select option 2 for mixed numbers. So this is going to be 1 2/3 divided by, let's go back in, get my mixed number again, and that is 3 1/2. And that answer is 10/21, Once again, if you're putting this in, if you don't have the fraction key, it's a little bit tougher. Use your parenthesis. Make these fractions be improper before you type them in. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, so that's going to be 5/3. And that's divided by 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so that is 7/2. There's your answer. Once again, use your math key and turn it back into a fraction, and you get the same answer. Now the video will stop for you to do checkpoint number 1. Restart it when you are finished. Okay, now we're going to look to graph a quadratic function. So to do this, go into your y equals. Go ahead and type in your function. I already have mine in there. If any of your plots are turned on, bump up and hit enter to turn them off, and then come back down. Pay attention, this little negative, remember you have to use your negative key, not the subtraction key. Okay, and to graph this, let's just do a zoom standard, which is zoom 6. That gives you a nice window. Here it comes. Okay, I have to find my vertex. That is a maximum. So all the features of your graph you're going to find in this calc menu, which is second trace. I need a max, so option 4. So I'm going to go left bound, so slide your cursor a little bit to the left, hit enter. Right bound, slide it a little bit past, hit enter and hit enter. And then you notice it is 1.5, 7.5. My axis of symmetry is this line going right through the middle. So that's going to be x equals 1.5. Let me show you over here. So 1.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 is about right here. And so my axis of symmetry, let's switch colors. We'll make it be yellow. Goes right through the middle. Here it is. It's a vertical line, so it's an x equal. Okay. My y-intercept, I could certainly use my calculator. What I would do, hit trace to attach the cursor to my graph, and type 0, enter, and you can see it is a 3. But honestly, we could have just looked at our equation and seen it as 3. 1, 2, 3. I could also sketch a symmetric point right over here. And my x-intercepts. When I look here, I can tell they are not nice numbers. So to find them, I'm going to use the 0 feature of my calculator. Second calc. And 0 is option 2. Let's find this one on the left first. Left bound is below. Hit enter. Right bound is just above it. Hit enter. Hit enter on guess. And it is about 0.44 is one of them. And then do the 0 feature again. So that is the second calc. And now we're going to have to scoot this guy over. So left bound will be just a little bit above. Right bound is just a little bit below. Hit enter. Enter on guess. And there it is. It's about, that is hard for me to read, 3.44 looks like. So plotting these, just do the best you can. Whoop, and I messed this guy up. I apologize. This guy is negative. So that is a negative 0.44, and it's going to be about right here. And this one is about 3.44. It is right here. And so here is your graph. Okay, the video will stop for a minute for you to do checkpoint 2. Go ahead and restart it when you are finished. Okay, our last problem, and I think you're really going to enjoy this, and that is how to find the intersection of two lines graphically on your calculator. Certainly we did a lot of these by hand, and it works great when you're doing it by hand when you have nice clean equations. These, if you notice, are messy. So we're going to use our calculator to find the intersection. First thing I need to do is get both of them in the form y equals. My first one is in good shape. My second one is not. So I need to go ahead, minus my 3x from both sides. So I have 2y is a negative 3x plus 7, and then divide everything by 2. 5y is a negative 3 halves x plus 7 halves. You can leave these as fractions or you can make them be decimals, whatever you want. So let's go ahead and type these in. My first one is y equals 3x minus 5.5. And my next one is y equals, I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a decimal. I know that's a negative 1.5x plus, and 7 halves is 3.5. Once again, if you want to put them in using your fraction key, that works great. Let's do a zoom 6 to get a good window. There's my first. Here's my second. So once again, anything to find parameters on your graph, you're going to go into calc. So do a second calc. Notice option 5 is intersect. Pick option 5. It'll ask for your first curve, and it's y1, which of course that's what we want. Second curve, you notice your cursor is on the red graph and y2 shows up. That's what we want. It says guess. You can scoot your cursor closer to the intersection and then go ahead and hit enter, and it will give you that intersection. And that is at 2, 1/2. Now you have one more checkpoint to complete, and you will be finished with your notes.